the only thing was that my friends were like, once I told them, like, hey, Drue is gonna be driving with me all the way to Georgia.
From Arizona to Georgia.
And like Drue's flying in, and they're like, Drue loves you.
Hey, did you guys get the laundry done?
Yeah.
You switched over from the washer to the dryer? Okay, what'd you do with the clothes in the dryer?
I put them in the basket. I meant Dad put them in the basket.
Okay, when we get back, we'll go ahead and fold those, okay?
Okay.
All right, love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Do you know what grocery store we're going to? Did you pick one?
Yeah, Kroger.
Okay, that's fine.
You said you didn't want to do Dollar General.
No, they're not gonna have like all the good
Or
snacks.
Dollar Tree.
They're definitely not gonna have all this.
25.
Why? You're just trying to get on my nerves right now. I can just tell. So it's nice to get like a little break from the kiddos. Just a tan.
So we're gonna be picking up some groceries for a couple days of dinner, right?
No, I thought we were just picking up some snacks. Yeah.
What are we having for dinner?
I already picked up for dinner. We're having, remember the cheese and the tomatoes with the pasta? This is how I know you don't listen. I said we're just getting snacks.
Buy you some flowers?
Sure, I would love that.
Okay, I'll grab you some flowers.
I'm serious.
What color you want?
What are my favorite colors?
Purple.
You are so... I've never said purple. I've always
when
said...
we were dating, you said purple.
No, I've only ever said yellow and
purple.
gray.
Purple and yellow. 9 says snacks. 8 says candy. How many snacks you getting?
As many as we want.
Is salted almond still your favorite, Lily?
I don't know. I haven't had them for a while. Want just like the cheapo gummy worms?
Cheap, like chewy gummy worms. Alright, these have got to be one of my favorite. Symphony bars by Hershey. So, you know, I've been drinking way too much soda lately. I'll go through these spurts that I am good for like a year, and then I'm terrible for like a year. And right now I've gotten really bad. You're shaking your head.
Because I feel like you're always eating and drinking whatever you want, and like you may gain like 5 pounds.
I go through these spurts. So I just got some root beer, but after this 4-pack, I'm gonna make a goal to go a few months without soda. It's gonna happen.
Oh, Drue, what is that?
It's like candy popcorn. I've had this one before, but I haven't had any of these.
The kids are gonna eat that in like 2 days.
I'm kind of leery though. Well, I'll just take all the ones with mini M&Ms and I'll let the kids have the rest. Hello. Miss Rachel. So we're gonna eat some snacks and talk about how we met. Gina and I met at church camp.
Yeah.
We were both 17. How did you end up at church camp? I guess that's where we have to start, right?
Okay, so for me, I actually had my best friend at the time, Cassandra. She was going to this church camp. She's like, you should definitely go. I've gone. This will be my 4th year, my 3rd year. She's like, you should definitely go. Every year I go, I meet new people. It's so much fun, and you should go. And I'm just like, okay. Well, I found out how much it costs, and I was like, my parents are not gonna go for this.
How much did it cost you, remember?
No.
A couple $100 bucks?
I think it was only a couple hundred.
Like $300 for 5 days or something like that.
So it wasn't expensive, but I just knew my parents are really Haitian.
It was overnight too. Like you stay there overnight.
And so I had to convince them. I don't think it was really the money. I think it's just like everything else. They wouldn't have known who was going to be there. I have to sleep overnight, and the money on top of it, then it was just like another excuse of like wanting to say no. So what ended up happening is I helped my best friend's mom with a garage sale, and I earned money for that, and they paid for me to go.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if I ever told you that. So Cassandra's mom, Kimberly, if you're watching, thank you, because I know it's because of you that I met my husband. I think I might have done some babysitting too for Kimberly.
Who dropped you off? Did you drive yourself?
No, Kimberly. She did it all.
Oh.
She helped me convince my parents. I don't feel like I actually worked. And so that's why I'm saying she paid. And then I think I did some babysitting for Kimberly's sister. She had some kids, and then that helped as well to pay for it. And so that's how I ended up going.
I didn't have to work for mine. Well, I did, but a different way. The second time I went and you were there, all the other kids at church were going to this camp, and my dad asked me if I wanted to go. And I was like, well, I guess so. And I think they ended up going. Well, I know one kid from my church went to Hawaii, to the church camp in Hawaii, and I was like, man, I'd love that. And my dad was like, well, we can't afford sending you to Hawaii, plane ticket and all that, but there's one in Gainesville. And I was like, okay, I'll go if you sign me up. I think I paid for it the first year, and the second year I was like, I'll go if you pay. My dad wanted me to get out, socialize and all that stuff, and not just play video games all summer. He actually ended up scheduling it the opposite week that all of my friends were going. I was like, well, okay, here's what it is. So that's how I ended up going.
By yourself?
By myself.
Crazy. Your dad hadn't made that mistake. We would have never met.
That's right. Never, ever. We're on the same campus. We're actually on a college campus. We would meet up the first couple days as a group and throughout the week as a group, but then we had like individual time we could separate. So the first time we met, I'm sure, as we were doing one of those like camp games that you normally do, that you have to associate your name with a fun adjective. You remember that?
No.
You don't?
What did I say?
Like, so Drew, I had to find out something a D. But I really think it was like, okay, let's do like delicious. I was like, that sounds weird. So I think I ended up going with dangerous. You don't remember what yours was?
Gina or
Joyful Gina, maybe?
Maybe jumping or joyful.
And so Gina was always with a group. I ended up just hanging out with that group, becoming friends with everyone in the group, and then just trying to show Gina like extra special attention throughout the week. So like at one point we had to give flowers to all you guys. Well, we didn't have to, but we decided to. So I tried to go and make sure I pick a flower that was different.
Well, the guys made paper flowers. All the guys made paper flowers, and so you got me a real flower. Yeah. I remember you told me that you purposely wanted something different so that I could tell it was different and special.
Yeah. And then of course you have a dance at the end of the week. You want to dance with Gina.
Which, you know what's funny is there was like one other guy who kept like asking me to dance as well. He was trying to be fresh. Or what, do you remember that?
He was probably trying to be fresh.
Do you remember that?
I remember you talking about one guy that like creeped you out.
Yeah, had his hand on my butt the whole time. Pretty much what happened is like we had to get fun, we hung out. We knew that we liked each other, like we could tell. I felt like I could tell you had a crush on me. I felt like you could tell I had a crush on you.
Yeah.
Because you know how you gave us flowers? We gave y'all notes. Like, right?
Yeah, I think I remember
that. And then for yours, I specifically got like red lipstick and like put it all over, like put kisses on the piece of paper. Do you not remember that?
Were there multiple kisses on it though?
Yeah, okay.
So there was, yeah, you weren't the only one that like, I didn't receive one note with one big kiss. Like, oh, it's fine.
Okay, here's the thing.
Everyone kissed.
I don't like making things way too obvious. I put a kiss and then all the other girls were like, we should do that too. And what am I supposed to say? No? And then we ended up doing it for everybody. So the attention was there.
So we get to the end of the week. We definitely are each other's cows, crushing on each other. And this is where we start to get some variation in the story. I swear I put my number in the back of her book.
You did.
And Gina did not put her number in the back of my book.
Now what did you do that ruined it?
I have no clue. I know I left the information I needed to, and you barely give me any information.
That's not the issue, y'all. Drew's a nurse. I don't know if you guys know that. He has the worst handwriting. The worst. So the last 2 digits were illegible. I needed to call a bunch of numbers to try to find Drew, and I did. Your email was back on the back there too, and then guess what happened? I emailed it and it bounced back to me.
You must have wrote the wrong email.
No, it bounced back to me.
Oh yeah. I put the information I needed to put, you just mishandled it.
No, I even planned this whole 6'5" get together a couple months later.
So I could get an invite from Indestructible Kingdom.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Then you never went.
I never went.
You never messaged.
Oh, you canceled it, so I didn't even have a chance to go to it.
What do you mean? You didn't have my info.
So how did we end up getting each other's numbers eventually?
Because when we went to college, we both joined Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We both joined Facebook, and then from there, you looked me up and you found me. Once you found me, you messaged me. Yeah, and you got my number. And then from there, started texting me, and then every year on my birthday, you call me.
Yep.
For my birthday. Every year.
Every year.
I would call you, like, I don't think I ever called you on your birthday, but I don't think I knew your birthday. But I don't think I ever took the time to ask. So 2.5 years had passed. So much time had passed in that time that I didn't think that he was interested anymore. But I kept thinking, like, if someone's really interested, they would say something. Looking back, I could have like saw like, man, here's a guy who's super persistent, calls me, remembers little details about me, must care, and must care more than like the average guy.
Friend zone myself.
Yeah, you kind of did. You kind of did,
Yeah.
and I can say, in that 5 years that we knew each other before we started dating, you might have friend zoned yourself, but I also felt like it made it a lot easier when we were dating, when we finally did start to date. Like, I was able to fall really fast. Like, when we did start dating, I was able to really let myself open up.
We were 21, I called Gina like normal for her birthday. I'm just like, hey, what you doing? She's like, oh, I just finished like my summer. So I've got a road trip or drive back home to Georgia from Arizona. I have a manual car and none of my friends know how to drive. The ones that do have left me. I have a friend that will fly from Georgia out here, but she still doesn't know how to drive a manual car. And I simply said, well, I could come out there, I could fly out, I know how to drive a manual, and I'll just road trip with you back. And she was like, oh, okay, that sounds great. All right, bye. And I was like, okay, bye, click. So in my mind, I'm thinking, yes, this is awesome. Like, I actually get to spend some more time with this person that I already know I like, but want to get to know better.
For me, okay, here's the thing. Because we've had so many conversations, like I said, Drue's a really sweet guy. And I will blame this on myself. And it almost seemed like you know how people say, oh, we'll hang out, or I'll help you, and you never kind of hear back from them. That's kind of what I expected. Drew said, yeah, I would help you. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Thinking that it wouldn't really happen.
I went ahead and called Gina back, and I said, hey, like, when are you leaving? When do you need me? I got to tell my work so I could take time off. Where I really knew that she had thought nothing of it since our conversation, because he's like, whoa, what? You hesitated at first, but then you were just okay, well, here's the dates.
Because, like I said,
and I was like, okay,
it wasn't like, the only thing was that my friends were like, once I told them, like, hey, Drue is going to be driving with me all the way to Georgia.
From Arizona to Georgia.
And like, Drue's flying in, and they're like, Drue loves you. Yes, he likes you. I'm like, no. This is what I actually said. If he had liked me, he would have done something 5 years ago, or he would have done something in that time. He would have done something by now. We've known each other. He calls me. Idiot. He calls me every year on my birthday. He calls me every couple of months. Like, every 2 or 3 months, he just calls to chat. And like, in my mind, I'm like, in that time, he could have definitely told me, like, hey, Gina, I've always liked you, or hey, Gina, would you like to go on a date? Technically, some of it's on him too, because he's never asked me on a date.
A little bit, just a little bit.
And in my mind, I'm like, in that time, he could have definitely told me, like, hey, Gina, I've always liked you, or hey, Gina, would you like to go on a date? Technically, some of it's on him too, because he's never asked me on a date.
A little bit, just a little bit.
But like, in this whole time, I'm like, he would have done something to show. So I just thought, I genuinely thought, he likes me when we AF1. Then either he's gotten to know me, or maybe he just realized, like, hey, maybe I'm not the person for him. And then just kind of like, we just became friends. And he was just a friend, but a good friend that always checked up on me. And I was okay with that, because I really did like him as a friend. I did like you as a friend.
That's good to know.
And so all my friends are just saying, like, oh, he's for sure, he has a crush on you, he likes you. There's no way a guy would fly all the way from North Dakota to Arizona just to drive across the country with you. I'm like, yes, Drue would. Like,
I'm that kind of friend.
He's that kind of friend. In reality, no, he's not that kind of friend. And so then you flew out.
Yeah, so then I flew out. I stayed with some of your friends that were out there.
For like a day or two.
For like a day or two.
And
I don't know if we loaded anything up or not, but I know we.
Yeah, you helped me load up my car. Yeah, you helped me load up, and then we started our road trip.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm super nervous. We're going to do a part 2 of this, but we're gonna answer some of your questions that y'all left on my Instagram about how we met, and we'll answer some of those.
Yeah. Gina, what were your thoughts on church camp, and did we both want to go?
I think we both want, well, I know now you didn't really want to go.
Well, it's not that I didn't want to go, I just didn't want to spend the money that I already didn't have.
For me, I wanted to go. How old were the both of y'all when you met?
We were both 17 when we met.
We're both 17.
Question, what were y'all's first impressions? It's easy to go really shallow and be like, oh, you're just super pretty and stuff like that, but I really like Gina's energetic, like out loud personality. I feel like that really attracted me, and then she was just obviously very beautiful. And so those were the things that I liked.
I liked how sweet and caring Drue was. Like, you just felt like, I think I said this before, you just feel like he's really listening. And so you kind of feel like when you're in the room, like chaos can be going around you and Drue's still like just fixated and talking to you, and you feel like he actually cares. And that made me feel really special, and that's one of the things that I still love about you.
Did you guys see each other much at church camp? Did y'all like talk the whole time, or was it just like a one-day thing?
I think it was multiple, like
It was the whole week. So what made me want to stay in contact with Gina after? To be honest, even if Gina was out of my league or with somebody else, I was okay being a friend not to lose her.
Really?
And so
I mean, I guess I should know that you
at
did
one
do
point,
that.
yeah, at one point it's just like, oh, well, if like friends is all we can be, then like you're a good friend and you're a good person, and it's fun just to talk to you and stuff like that.
For me, it was just kind of like if he's interested, like I'll find that out. Like he'll make moves or stuff like that. Sometimes just gotta let things happen as well. Okay, why were you traveling from Arizona to Georgia? Why did you bring up going on a road trip to Drue? Okay.
Yeah, why did you bring this up, Tony? If you didn't want me to go, or weren't thinking about me going?
Because you called me on my birthday, and you asked me what's going on, and I was trying to figure that out. So it was in my mind. So not that
Good timing.
Yeah, I really feel like you called me at a good time. It was like perfect timing. So I was working with this pest control company in Tempe, Arizona. I was doing that the whole summer to make money so I could go back to college, because I was paying for college, and then I needed to go back home because I still had a break before I went back to school. The reason why I brought it up to Drue was just because it was still on my front mind. Like I was just, I think that day or the day up, we were just talking about it, so I was just, yeah. So that's the reason.
All right, how did you feel when Gina brought up going on her road trip? Why did you offer to go with her? I mean, when she brought it up, I just thought like, oh, okay, she is just talking to me about it. But then she started talking about how her friends couldn't drive a manual, or the ones that did were already gone. And I was like, oh, she probably doesn't know that I can drive a manual. This is perfect. And so I threw it out there to her just to be like, hey, I can drive a manual, why don't I go with you? Pretty much expecting her to be like, no, it's okay, like don't worry about it, it's fine. And like, I'll be fine, I'll figure it out. And I'd be like, oh, okay, bye. But then when she was like, oh, sure, okay, yeah, come on. I was like,
I wasn't like that.
I was like light bulb, like,
oh,
okay.
Who was the bold one? Who talked to who first?
So I was definitely the bold one. After 5 years of friendship, and we go on the road trip, like, I obviously know I have to make the first move to make things happen.
Who made the first move?
This guy.
Was it an immediate connection?
Friendship, for sure.
I think more than that. Like, it's a connection. We knew from
I mean, it depends what point. Like at church camp and stuff, like definitely crush. Yeah, connection, crush.
We had an immediate, like, I don't know if I would say love at first sight. I definitely knew that I liked you, and I definitely knew that I liked your personality.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to be around you a lot. I mean, for sure.
I would say my feelings evolved extremely fast. I wouldn't say like I saw you and I was like, oh, I'm in love. Like, oh,